All right, welcome back, guys. We got another Jock Talk Show Fantasy 12-pack coming at you guys. Brock, Matt, how we doing today, Brock?
Great.
That's right. It's always good when it's Miller time. Last week did not go so hot for us. Not as well as the week before, but we're here to bounce back for you guys. This week we have the Fantasy 12-pack. 6 guys, 3 each for me and Brock, who we are loving this week, whether in fantasy or season long. Season long is the playoffs right now. If you were good enough, lucky enough, however you want to look at it, to make the playoffs. Otherwise, if you weren't, that's what DFS is for, whether if it's the old DraftKings FanDuel or one of my favorites, Monkey Knife Fight. And then we have the 3 guys who we think are that we should stay away from. Again, whether we're looking fantasy, season long, DFS, whatever it is. And then as always, we have our locks and upsets of the week. Brock, I'll have to admit it. Wasn't gonna forget it. You kind of you got lucky a little bit on the pick that we disagreed on last week. The Browns and the Ravens in potentially what was at that time at least the game of the year. Yes. The Ravens squeaked it out with Justin Tucker's game-winning field goal. But enough looking at last week. We are moving forward to this week. So we're going to get right into it. The first 6-pack that we got for you guys is our fantasy studs, the guys who we are buying high on. We're targeting in our DFS lineups. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off. First guy is A.J. Brown. He's been good the second half of the year after getting off to a slow start and being injured a little bit. He's going against the Detroit Lions. We've seen what Devontae Adams did to them last week. They're going to be without Jeff Okudah. He's out for the year. I just think it's a big game coming from A.J. Brown. 8 catches, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns kind of game from him.
Yeah, he's been, like you said, very solid this second half especially. My first stud of the week, I'm going Terry McLaurin versus Seattle. I think he's been the most consistent wide receiver for Washington so far. Seattle's been giving up a lot of yards and catches to receivers this year. Their defense has been not great. They played better last week, but it
was the Jets.
It's the Jet. Yeah, exactly. So I just see a very solid game out of Terry McLaurin this week.
All right. I think this might be the first time all year that I've gone with 3 wide receivers, actually, now that I'm looking at it. My second guy in the fantasy community, he goes by the name of Bobby Trees. That's right. I'm going with Robert Woods as my second stud of the week. It's kind of tough sometimes whether you want to pick between him and Cooper Kupp, but these last few weeks, Robert Woods has been out targeting Cooper Kupp on a consistent basis. It's double-digit targets every week, and then as you just said, Brock, they're going up against the Jets, so it's the Jets.
But also, do you think it'd be a little more of a running game? Maybe a Cam Akers game because they'll be up by a lot.
I thought the same thing.
You could stack the Rams this week, especially get a Cam Akers because he's been having a good season so far. But like Robert Woods, obviously, like you said, has been probably one of the most consistent wide receivers for them. He's been targeted probably the most, I believe,
Yep.
And just consistent wide receiver for the Rams because
that is going to be a chalky stack in DFS, stacking whether if it's the running game or the passing game with the Rams defense. Easy stack there in DFS. But yeah, so
I would love a Jets upset. Don't get me wrong. For the survivor reasons.
So I would pick them with the spread. Because it's 17.5 according to CBS, or I believe it is at least 17.5 points. I go with the Jets outright.
No, 17.5. I mean, they've been close in a few games. Let's see if Sam Darnold can have a game of his lifetime this week.
And they still lose.
Probably. But my number 2, definitely our favorite receiver of the draft. He had a down game last week. I think he bounces back against Chicago. Mr. Justin Jefferson. I mean, need I say more? He's I believe on pace or easily going to break Randy Moss's rookie Viking record, and that is a huge record to break. So I think I could see him having another huge game, especially against the Bears. They're both really fighting for their playoff lives, so it could be a high-scoring affair. I mean, Chicago looked pretty good last week, but the Vikings didn't. But they were playing two totally different teams and stature-wise. But I think Justin Jefferson bounces back with a very nice game this week.
My number 3, sticking with a receiver from this draft. Another receiver who I would have liked to see on the Packers. I'm going with Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers against the Dallas Cowboys. Deebo Samuel is going to be, I believe, out for the year now. George Kittle was designated to return from IR. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to play, but even if he does, I think there's a very, very slim chance that Brandon Ayuk sees less than 12 targets. He's a monster after the catch. The Cowboys defense kind of sucks. So Brandon Ayuk,
a little bit.
My third stud.
I made a late scratch for my third stud. Replacing him with J.K. Dobbins, another rookie. We're expecting big things from the rookies this week. I almost went JT to have a back-to-back huge games, but I'm not going to do that. You could do that, but J.K. Dobbins versus the Jags. Jags have been atrocious against the run as of late. J.K., I think they're starting to find their stride with him and really play him a lot more. Mark Ingram was pretty much a no-show against the Browns. Gus Edwards got a lot more playing time, so I'm seeing a lot more touches for J.K. and Gus this week.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it's a wise move to scratch who you scratched because
I thought about it a little more. I was like, he hasn't been getting a lot of playing time, and we'll see. Let's move on.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our duds of the week. My first dud is gonna be Leonard Fournette. Reasons why. He hasn't looked good this year in the times that he has played. If he looked better, he would be playing more. Look at the backup running backs this year who have been thrusted into a role kind of week of the game and how they fared. Brian Hill for the Falcons, trash. Devontae Booker 2 weeks ago for the Raiders, trash. DeAndre Washington last week for the Dolphins, trash. That continues this week. Leonard Fournette, trash.
My first dud of the week, I'm going Mike Thomas versus the Chiefs. It's looking like Taysom Hill is going to be the quarterback again, even if Drew Brees is in there. This Chiefs defense has been playing pretty well. I don't trust Taysom Hill. He's had, I believe, more fumbles than touchdowns in the 3 games he's played. So that being said, I don't see Mike Thomas having a very big game. And I mean, he hasn't had great games when Taysom Hill's been quarterback. So nothing's leading me to think that he's going to have any very big impact this week either.
My number 2 dud. So Mike Thomas was a consensus first round pick in fantasy this year. Didn't work out so well. The second guy got there towards later in the draft season and hasn't worked out so well. CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, dud. That defense that they're going to be going up against is no joke against running backs and against the run and even against the pass.
I mean, Miles Sanders did a little bit of work.
They got lucky a little bit. We'll consider that. But I think CEH does not have a very good game. I think it's going to be another Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill game, just like every week. I think CEH another week or two before he hits, maybe that big rookie game outside of his first career game. So CEH, second dud of the week.
Yeah, you kind of see the rookie wall setting in for some of these rookies. Some of them hitting their stride.
JT.
Yeah, JT they're finally.
It's all about the matchups.
Unleashing him as well. Because, I mean, even J.K. Dobbins, he was not getting much touches early in the season, but now he is. And it seems like it's going vice versa. Like, Clyde Edwards-Helaire just had more touches early, and now he's kind of falling off. My number 2 dud of the week, I'm going to Deshaun Watson versus the Colts. I mean, the Texans' offense has been pretty bad. I mean, Deshaun's doing as much as he can, but this Colts defense is for real. They get after him, and that Texans O-line,
not good.
It's not going to look Deshaun, you better add a couple Advil to your travel list this week, because that D-line is going to get after you.
Extra bowl of Wheaties.
Something. Get something. Get that Campbell's Chunky Soup that he's sponsored by, or some shit. I don't know. But you're going to need a little extra help this week, buddy, to try to come out with a win against the Indianapolis Colts.
All right, Brock, you've had 2 superstars as your 2 duds of the week so far. I'm going to add to that with mine. My third fade of the week is Calvin Ridley. Early in the season, he looked like the best receiver in the NFL. Lately, Matt Ryan sucks, showing his age. So Calvin Ridley, dud of a game. I think he is just, they might be better off shutting him down for this season with some kind of fake injury instead of just rolling him out there. But Calvin Ridley, dud.
Yeah, he's had his injuries after, like, Julio was kind of been banged around these last half of the season. So I could easily see that. My third dud of the week, kind of staying in that star player dud.
Ish.
He was in Miami, but now in Cleveland. Yeah. In Cleveland, Mr. Jarvis Landry, he's been having a good last 4 or 5 weeks. He has been performing pretty well. He had a decent game against the Ravens, but not great, but decent. I could see him just not even touching the ball this week. I think James Bradbury again has another solid matchup against him. He's, like I said a few weeks ago, he's had probably a career year for him, and could easily be all pro. And I don't know. I just don't like Jarvis this week. That's my big thing. I just don't like him. That Giants run defense is good, but granted, the Browns run offense is a tier above itself. Like it is. It's one of the most impressive running teams that I've seen in quite some time.
The Giants could put that stud sideline linebacker on Jarvis probably.
I like that. Blake Martinez he ain't gonna get speed. He ain't even gonna get a catch if Blake's on him. He's gonna.
We're gonna be moving on. That's the fantasy 12-pack for you guys. We're moving on to our locks and upsets of the week now. This week I'm gonna kick it off. I always go after this team. No, it's not the Jets. That's too easy. This team is just slightly a step above the Jets. The first lock for me is going to be the Buffalo Bills over the Denver Broncos. Not even close. A 3-touchdown game.
You saying just barely above the Jets? I love it. Dylan, you love it? You should, because it's right.
You like that?
I'm gonna I'm going to stay in that same level. Not a great team. They have some wins. But I'm going the 49ers over the Cowboys. I just like that matchup. Kittle, if he is back, I think it just adds another dimension that the Cowboys cannot stop. That O-line has been pretty good. That defense, the Cowboys defense has been atrocious. So I just think the 49ers put it together, and yeah, they could squeak out with a win.
My second lock is the Tennessee Titans over the Detroit Lions. More than likely, no Matthew Stafford. We'll see if they like Kenny Golladay get out there. They're missing a ton of pieces on defense. Frank Ragnow broke his throat.
See if they let him play. I wouldn't let him play. Might as well not. I mean, he broke your throat. Whatever the hell that means.
And there's this guy. Don't know if you've heard of him. Derrick Henry is pretty good in the month of December, I've heard. So
who knew? Who knew? Oh God, he scares me. He's my second pick of the week. I'm going the Dolphins over the Patriots. Tua looked pretty good at times last week. Dolphins defense has played well. Jarrett Stidham is starting for the Patriots. So I just don't like him. I mean, Cam has not played well. So I don't trust Stidham. I think the Patriots are kind of packing it in too to kind of get a little higher on the draft board as much as they can. If they even have any picks. I don't even know if they have any picks. Knowing the Patriots, they probably don't. But I'm going Dolphins over Patriots.
My upset of the week, I was going between three games. I was considering the Texans over the Colts, and then I realized Deshaun Watson, it's possible that he doesn't make it out of the game alive. I was considering the Patriots over the Dolphins until I heard Jarrett Stidham's name. I was also considering the Giants over the Browns, and then Colt McCoy came into play. So my pick is the Los Angeles Chargers over the Las Vegas Raiders. I think Justin Herbert keeps it going to Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler gets another 44 targets this week. I think Chargers beat Vegas, and LV keeps on sliding downwards a little bit.
Yeah, I think the Raiders have been one of the frauds of the league. They beat the Chiefs. How? And made it close the second game. How? And then they just lose to random teams. Bad. Shit the bed.
That's right.
But my upset pick of the week, I'm riding the Jalen Hurts train. Eagles over the Cardinals. Cardinals have been a roller coaster in itself. Eagles are playing for their playoff lives and trying to get back into that number one spot in the NFC least after the football team took over. But I don't know. Something about the Eagles this week. I like Kyler hasn't played very well. That D-line for the Eagles, I mean, we've seen they do get after it. And if they can force Kyler to, not see over their 6-foot selves, I think they'll be all right. But I think another one that could easily be a squeaker of a game is just late field goal or late touchdown wins them that one.
All right, Brock, that's going to do it for the Fantasy 12-pack and the locks and the upsets. Tell people where they can find us on social media and take us out.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify. You want to find us there. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Share us with all your friends, family, dogs, cats. We name it, you do it. Because you know what? We're always right. And you should always listen to me. Matt, you should probably barely listen to him. But that being said, guys, make sure you check out our other videos on Facebook or YouTube. Drop a like, comment what you want to see on our next top 5. Speaking of top 5, go to Facebook and go check that out. It is our top 5 underrated players. That should be an interesting list in itself. For Matt, I am Brock, and the Jock Talk Show. We'll talk to you next time.